In the top stories, a man dies after being struck by a motorcycle. The EU ambassador sets the record straight on the tax havens list, and rain hangs over Barbados Tridents clash with the Jamaica Tallawahs. Welcome to Nation News for Monday, June 22nd, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles. A St. Michael man has died after he was struck by a motorcycle at Bank Hall Main Road on Monday. Reports indicate 68-year-old Samuel Clark of Nurseland Bank Hall was crossing the road when the incident occurred. He was taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police say the motorcycle rider, 20-year-old Sherwin Williams, was injured and taken to hospital for treatment. His pillion rider left the scene. Concern has been expressed in international business circles about Barbados appearing on a list of tax havens recently published by the European Union. But EU Ambassador to Barbados and the OECS, Michael Barford, says it's all a misunderstanding. He told the CARIFORUM Labour meeting there are unlikely to be any consequences for listed Caribbean countries in terms of credit ratings or private investment.
And I have to say quite clearly that there is no assessment by the EU on tax havens. The Commission has merely asked the EU member states to make their own individual assessments. And if more than 10 EU member states regard a country outside the EU as uncooperative, it will appear on the list of 30 uncooperative states. This approach, and that's the important part, is an attempt by the Commission for the member states of the European Union to become transparent about their criteria for uncooperative states in tax areas, to coordinate these criteria between the member states themselves, and to finally encourage member states to regularly update the criteria.
The 19-year-old accused in the murder of Dion Andre Howard has been remanded to prison until July 20th. Jacoby Tudor of Bellevue Gap, Station Hill, St. Michael, was not required to plead to the indictable offense when he appeared in the District A Criminal Court No. 1 before Magistrate Christy Coffey Sargent on Monday. Mr. Howard was reportedly shot on Wednesday night during a dispute with Mr. Tudor. He succumbed to his injuries the following day. The Family Law Council is pushing for reform of the Family Law Act and the establishment of a family court. This was revealed on Saturday night by Chairman Justice Jacqueline Cornelius during the Barbados Family Planning Association's 61st Anniversary Awards ceremony.
Our further reform intends to remove family law as far as possible from a hostile, gendered, adversarial arena to a conciliatory, mediated framework. Our focus this year is on preparing the ground for a functioning family court staffed by both legal and social services expertise, with judicial officers at both the summary and high court level being assigned according to their training and temperament. Mediation will be a key feature of any such court. We hope, too, that a fully functioning domestic violence court, separate from the family court, and established on the basis that domestic violence is not amenable to the conciliatory approach necessary in other family litigations, will soon follow.
Meantime, Executive Director of the Family Planning Association, Juliette Baino-Sutherland, says they need donations of both money and time. She urged Barbadians to hold fundraisers or collect donations, particularly for the cancer prevention and youth programs. Mrs. Baino-Sutherland said the association also needs volunteers to work in the areas of community education and technical assistance. Some crop over news now. The National Cultural Foundation has reported an increase in the number of entries in the Sweet Soca and Party Monarch competitions. Corporate Communications Specialist Simone Codrington said entries in the Party Monarch increased from 58 last year to 82 this year, while those in the Sweet Soca jumped from 113 to 133. She made the comments on Sunday night as she announced the 32 semi-finalists who will take part in the 2 competitions on July 3rd at Kensington Oval. The full list is available on our website and Facebook page. The Ministry of Education is taking steps to increase the number of schools which exhibit at BMEX. Chief Media Resource Officer Walter Harper says one plan is to launch a series of competitions in September aimed at getting teachers and students to be more creative. Speaking during a prize-giving ceremony for schools which participated this year, he said the competitions will focus on electricity and alternative energy, apps, animation and video, as well as woodwork and metalwork. Mr. Harper said the ministry will also be increasing the amount of money it allocates to prizes. Primary school students will have the opportunity to showcase their singing talent when the inaugural Junior Choir Festival competition is staged later this year. The event is being hosted by the Christian group CUB Productions. Public Relations Officer Pastor Wayne Linton spoke to Nation News on Friday during a promotional visit to Gordon Walters Primary School.
What we want to do is that we want to bring spirituality back into the schools, into the young people, right? Because spirituality seems to be lost somewhere along the line in our development as people in this country. You know, we hear all kinds of things about violence and what the young people do and what the young people don't do. But we want to bring back a sense of spirituality, Jesus, back into the young minds.
In sports, Barbados Tridents will be keeping an eye on the weather ahead of their Hero CPL T20 clash against the Jamaica Tallawahs on Tuesday. The forecast says a weak tropical wave and trough system will continue to affect the island, which means there will be some rain. Tridents recorded a comprehensive victory over Guyana Amazon Warriors in the opening match on Sunday, but rain washed out play in St. Lucia between the Zouks and Trinidad and Tobago Red Steel on Sunday. Sade Williams now ranks among the best in the world. On Saturday evening, she broke Yolande Strawn's 28-year-old junior national record in the 400 meters. Her time of 52.39 seconds erased Strawn's mark of 53.10 set back in 1987. It also puts her at number 3 in the world. The run is a great confidence booster for Williams, who was injured earlier this season and missed the Carifta Games. And finally, a Chinese animal advocate saved the lives of 100 dogs on Saturday after she paid just over 2,000 Barbados dollars to save them from an annual dog meat festival in the southern city of Yulin. The 65-year-old traveled about 1,500 miles from her home to secure the dogs. Her action comes as international observers and activists continue to draw attention to the festival, in which about 10,000 dogs are killed each year. Reports indicate some of the dogs have collars, indicating that they may be stolen pets. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thank you so much for joining us.